It's historic, it's unique, it's the highlight of the calendar, the Grand Prix of Pau. Well, welcome to the FIA Formula 3 magazine show, the 75th edition of this famous race in the south of France, not far from the Pyrenees. A street circuit with the taste of Formula 1, which was racing here up until the middle of last century. A field of 22 cars, with the weather playing a large factor. Well, heavy rain on Friday means a real challenge for the young drivers to stay on track, avoid damage and achieve a successful qualifying. All the drivers are hunting the German Maximilian Günther, who comes to Pau as the championship leader.
Hello, my name is Max Günther. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Germany. This year I'm racing for the Prix de Pau team. Yeah, I started like everyone, I guess, in karting, 2004, my first meters in kart slalom. I directly enjoyed it and yeah, moved on, drove many karting races until 2010 with the highlight winning the German karting championship. Yeah, then I moved up to Formula BMW, finished second there, my first single-seater year. Then also twice runner-up in the German ADAC Formula Masters. And last year was my first year in the FIA Formula 3 European Championship. I had a good year with a victory and the 8th place in overall. And yeah, this year I'm very happy to be a driver for the Prix de Pau team, and I'm very much looking forward to the season. Well, of course, my family. I'm very happy to have such a strong family behind me who supports me, and yeah, of course, also my sponsors. You can read here are very important for me. Without them, I wouldn't be standing here. And yeah, of course, also the Prix de Pau team for which I drive this year. Honestly, I think it's difficult to name one idol. Of course, I like Fernando Alonso a lot. He's a very great racing driver, but for me as a junior driver, it's important to pick out from everyone that what you think it's best. So I do not think there's the perfect driver or the perfect idol, but yeah, as I said, I'm a fan of Fernando Alonso. Definitely Spa-Francorchamps. It's a track with many ups and downs, like a roller coaster actually, so very fast and technical track. So yeah, I like it a lot, the speed in the high speed corners, and yeah, it's a long one, and also yeah, very special to drive there with all the history which took place at this track.
We also have a new driver in the series, the German David Beckmann. At 16, he's now allowed to participate in FIA Formula 3. In 2015, he finished 5th overall in the ADAC Formula 4. Here in Pau, here in Pau, the French rookie Antoine Hubert, who's on home soil, winning here 2 times in French F4.
Hello guys, I'm Antoine Hubert, driving for Van Amersfoort Racing in F3. Welcome to Pau in France for my home race. I'm going to show you one lap around the streets. As you can see, track is wet. It's quite tricky in Pau to have a wet track. We are in the main straight, longest straight even though it's quite small. First corner is flat in the dry, but now you have to release. First brake, you have to be straight, corner or flagger. Maximize the exits, second gear, it's going uphill in exit, so yeah, important to push throttle early. Uphill, up to 5th gear, coming to 3rd corner, braking on the middle of the track to avoid locking, going under the bridge, 2nd gear as well, maximize the exit, stay on the left to maximize the next corner, which is the hairpin, being well on the left, slowest corner of the track, 1st gear, be careful with the white lines on the wet track, 3rd, 4th, long left. It's flat on the dry, but now it's a bit wet. Best part of the track, the long right of Parc Beaumont, 4th gear. It's really tricky, and then we are entering in the chicane, 4th chicane, taking a lot the curbs, rallying the left, going downhill to the last sector of the track. Another slow right corner, down to 1st gear, taking the inside curb, trying to stay on the right for the exit. Fast chicane, which is flat and dry, but now, of course, we have to brake. And finally, the last corner, taking as much inside as possible and maximizing the exit because there is the longest straight after when we can take around more than 200 kilometers per hour. This was a lap around Pau City track with me, Antoine Hubert. Now let's keep pushing for the weekend.
Well, even with the difficult practice conditions, all the cars made it onto the grid.
I think Pau is an iconic place for F3, so it's for us always very important to have it in the calendar. For the drivers, it's a very tricky place, but very good for their experience. For sure, when we come with the weather we have this weekend, it's even more difficult race. But I think they all enjoy. What you see after each run is that they have all the smile on their face, so it looks that it is a real great experience for them.
We're driving for the Prix de Pau team. Pole position went to 17-year-old Canadian Lance Stroll.
For sure, the conditions are really tricky in Pau. Starting as much in front as possible is really important because of the characteristic of the circuit, being a city circuit and very difficult to overtake. And especially now that it's raining, starting on front, you have a better visibility, so it's really important. Now we just cross a finger for the race.
On the right-hand side of your screen, Lance Stroll on pole and joined alongside by Ben Barnicoat. Well, Lance Stroll stalls and Ben Barnicoat, the number 24 with the red nose, taking the lead into turn one. On second corner, Ben Barnicoat negotiates safely with Maximilian Gunther, the number 17 car. Hold up behind him, Nick Cassidy in second. And Lance Stroll dropping all the way down to 9th. A lot of caution exercised by the field as they head up to the top of the hill under the bridge. And this is a replay of the start. Ben Barnicoat, the number 24, quickly into the lead. Nicknamed the Rain Man, having also won last time out in a very wet Budapest. Well, not long into the race, Ben Barnicoat started to eke out his lead out front. And then the safety car was brought out after number 18, Peter Lee, clattered the Armco. Well, during the restart, it was number 17, Maximilian Gunther, under pressure from Nick Cassidy. And the two teammates fighting it out for second. Nick Cassidy around the outside of turn one, made the move stick into turn two and moved up to second place. Picture perfect restart for the leader, Ben Barnicoat, with the battling Prix de Pau team cars in his wing mirrors. And you can see Cassidy there, very brave on the outside. Pedro Piquet next to full foul of the conditions. He hits the wall, losing his front wing, but back underway. No safety car this time around. Well, 10 minutes to go. Nick Cassidy started to close on race leader Ben Barnicoat. You can see the gap visibly coming down. Red Bull liveried Nick O'Carey just getting into the back of Arjun Maini. The Finnish driver missing his braking point and taking or hitting the Indian into a spin. Well, Ben Barnicoat still out front from Nick Cassidy, Maximilian Gunther, George Russell fourth, and Callum Ilott fifth. Well, Maximilian Gunther now, having lost out to Nick Cassidy, starting to come under pressure from George Russell. Gunther having to defend his third place, but out front, Ben Barnicoat for his second race win of the season, crosses the finishing line. Nick Cassidy across the line in second. Maximilian Günther holding on in third, ahead of George Russell. Well, the high-tech squad celebrate. And as you can see, that is why their man on top. 2 cars in the top 4.
I think Lance might have stalled because he stopped really suddenly, so I managed to make a good start, and then that was it. Got a good gap. Then unfortunately the safety car came out, and then Cassidy was then behind me after that, and there was more pressure there, but still managed to yeah, I love driving on the rain, and I still managed to stay on the track and win the race. It was a great feeling.
I'm really happy with the second because we had a good car. Team did an amazing job. Didn't want to do anything stupid, but a little annoying to be stuck. So an opportunity was presented at the restart. I made the most of it, and then caught down Barnicoat. So, you know, we showed good speed, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the weekend.
In part 2, we look at why helmets of today are so important, and of course, more racing action from Pau, so stay with us. The third race weekend of the FIA Formula 3 European Championship, and now we take a closer look at the drivers' equipment, visiting Team Carlin and their driver, Ryan Tveter. The most important piece of safety equipment is, of course, the helmet, custom made with a personalized design.
The helmet is very important for the security and the safety. That's the first priority of why we wear helmets. But yeah, the second thing would be weight and comfort. So I'm wearing a Stilo now, manufactured in Italy, which is very comfortable. Stilo as well, I think, compared to the Arai, has better ventilation, so when it's hot out you do get some more ventilation and you feel a bit cooler, so that's definitely very important. And the vision as well, with the visors, and there's a better selection of visors, different tints, different rain visors, yellow, all these different things that you can really get the right visor and get the right visibility, and depending on the conditions. On the side is the first 4 corners of Montreal, which is where I had my first race ever in my life. So, and then on the back of the helmet it has sort of a little start-finish straight and Salut Gilles, like it has written on the track. So for me, that's something I'll carry always on my helmet, because that's where I started in racing. So it's something really significant for me.
Well, back to the race weekend, and a difficult qualification sees points leader Maximilian Günther starting from the penultimate row in race 2. Sergio Sette Camara starting from the 2nd row and getting a helping hand from experienced driver and Frenchman Tom Dillman.
I'm coaching all 4 drivers at Motopark. It's really tricky condition. I raced here in 08, and we had more than 30 at the start and only 8 finished in this condition. So what I told them is keep it on the dry line, keep it on the track, and I think from there we can have a good race.
Well, looking at the racing line on the right-hand side, it's clearly dry, and that gives the advantage to number 12, George Russell, who sprints away into turn 1. And he's just ahead of Callum Ilott, who lost out in P2. Sette Camara and Lorandi passing him. You can see Ilott on the left-hand side, number 6, losing out. And Sette Camara and Alessio Lorandi passing the Brit. Well, early on, number 2, Nick Cassidy, in trouble due to contact at the start. And then in third place, contact and a mistake from Alessio Lorandi coming out of the final corner. That helps number 6, Callum Ilott, to recover that position and pass him for third place. Lorandi out with a damaged left rear. The recovering Maximilian Günther, who qualified on the penultimate row, is chasing Nikita Mazepan. So the 17 car of Maximilian Günther right up behind the number 11 high-tech machine of Mazepan. And then drama for Pedro Piquet for the second race in succession, finds himself in the wall. And that causes the safety car to be brought out. Bunches the field right up. Well, that was Harrison Newey in the wall, causing another safety car period. That was just after the restart. And with the second restart, number 12, George Russell, again showing Sete Kamara a clean set of heels in the Red Bull car. And George Russell was to cross the line, score his first win of the season ahead of Sete Kamara and Callum Ilott. Well, it's been coming for George Russell. A very, very good result. And a strong drive from the British driver in his high-tech GP car.
Obviously, I've had a very poor start to this season. We've been unbelievably fast, but everything what could go wrong has gone wrong. And I had the opportunity to start from pole, and I thought we need to make a statement, and to all the other teams as well, that we're still here fighting.
Yeah, I think it came from a good qualifying. My pace in the wet during my Formula career was never very good, and I never got any expressive result in the rain. And it was good because this weekend was pure rain. We had plenty of rain this year until now. And yeah, we managed to qualify well in the rain.
At the start, we were a bit unlucky being on the side with the water, so that really put me at a disadvantage. So I lost 2 places at the start, and then I think just before the first safety car, I was behind Alessio, and out the last corner, he made a little mistake, which cost big time. So I was in third position then, which was already quite good, considering I thought I wasn't going to make the podium.
Well, Sunday in Pau is the main event, the Grand Prix of Pau. Alessio Lorandi started on pole for Carlin Motorsport and sprinted off to a strong start. And behind him, well, all was not well. As you can see, plenty of cars caught up in multiple incidents.
Probably the biggest one of my career, that's for sure. But in my view, wasn't necessary. Quite disappointed with the other guy's actions, and look, we can't do anything about it now, but I hope that this issue is looked into. It's not the first time he's done this, and on a street circuit like that is not so smart.
Plenty of cars caught up in that, which meant an 11-minute safety car, 5 laps behind. And finally, when the race got restarted, the number 4, Lorandi, staying ahead of the number 1 machine of Lance Stroll and the number 12 of George Russell. Further back, Toyota under pressure from Joel Eriksson. And it was a good move from the rookie around the outside for P6. Here is that move, Ryan Toyota in the 3 car. Joel Eriksson in the number 22 machine, outbraking Toyota around the outside in turn 2. Ben Barnicoat, a very strong move on Maximilian Günther. That was at the top of the hill, at the hairpin. Out front, and Lance Stroll still putting pressure on Alessio Lorandi, and George Russell hanging on in there as well. The front three very closely matched. Fastest lap of the race going to George Russell as he tries to put pressure on Lance Stroll. Meanwhile, the Carlin pit crew looking on as their man is still out front, the number 4 machine. And as the corners tick down on the final lap, Alessio Lorandi does enough and hangs on to win the Grand Prix of Pau ahead of Lance Stroll and George Russell with a strong podium in third. Calamilot coming home fourth. And that's what it means to Sandro Lorandi, the father of Alessio. Lorandi at the top of the pile for the first time.
I was very nervous tonight. I didn't sleep so much, honestly. It's you know, when I was in the car, I was really quite relaxed, honestly. I just knew I had to do a very good start, and I focused on that and cover into turn 1, and I think I did that. And after that, I knew I had to just be calm, manage it, still pushing, but manage it.
Yesterday was a bit disappointing from pole to stall it like that. I just, you know, I don't know. It's just a mistake from my part. It's not more complicated than that. But yeah, yesterday we finished 4th in the second race and finishing 2nd today. Yeah, I mean, we recovered at least and leading the championship, so I can't complain. I'm just focused already on Red Bull Wing because it's coming up immediately next weekend.
No, for sure, starting P5 to move up at just one position in Pau is a good result, and obviously we managed to get onto the podium with the fortune of the crash which happened at the start. At the beginning I was just controlling the pace, and towards the end I decided to push, go for fastest lap and try and pressure Lance and Alessio, but it wasn't enough.
Well, Lance Stroll moving into the championship lead ahead of Maximilian Günther, who led before this round. And with the champagne flowing on the podium of the Grand Prix of Pau, it's time to say goodbye and see you next time.